I've been reflecting a lot on why it can feel so intimidating to start something new. For the longest time, I honestly thought it was just me because maybe I was too nervous or too unsure. But the more I spoke with friends and read about it, the more I realized that it's pretty much a universal feeling. Because it's almost as if there's a wall between us and whatever we dream of doing, and that wall is built up of our own worries and doubts. I honestly remember the first time I thought about posting content. Um, I'd see these creators sharing their lives, sharing their ideas, or even just their hobbies, and I'd feel so inspired. But then, as soon as I imagined putting my own stuff out there, my mind got flooded with these doubts. Just like, what if no one watches it? What if people hate it? What if I look stupid? What if people laugh? And I'd play out all these kind of worst case scenarios before I even recorded a single second. The fear of judgment completely froze me. And then I kind of get in this loop, almost this pattern of dreaming of something, but then freezing as soon as it was time to act. And honestly, it used to haunt me because I'd pile up ideas in my head, visualizing how perfect they could be. But then as soon as I thought of actually taking the first step, I'd get this rush of anxiety, and my mind would instantly go, what if it doesn't turn out how you imagined? What if you fail? And again, I'd build this image of failure up before I even tried. And the crazy thing is, the longer you take to start, the longer you wait, the more the fear grows. Eventually, I started noticing how heavy it felt to carry around these unfilled ambitions. And although it's fading to an extent, I'm still carrying it around now. Because it's like there's a load of locked doors in my mind, all labeled with doubts that I carry about myself and my potential. Because is this what I'm meant to be doing? Am I capable of achieving it? But because I never turned the key and pushed through that barrier, after a while, that sense of missing out became worse than the fear of failure. So I told myself it's natural to feel this way. It's natural to doubt yourself, but in order for you to be great, you need to push through this feeling. Because currently the only resistance I have on my life is the limits I place on myself. And just so you can understand how stupid that is, I want you to imagine yourself sitting in front of a mirror. And as you try to stand up, something's stopping you. And when you look in the reflection, you see another version of yourself. The only person stopping you from moving forward is you. The only person stopping you from standing up is you. The only person stopping you from changing your life is you. And if you're strong enough to hold yourself back, then you're strong enough to lift yourself up. Now, I can't speak for other people, but I can speak for me. And even though this channel was brand new, I've been posting content consistently for the last 8 months. And I wish I could tell you all the doubts go. I wish I could tell you that when you finally take action, everything's going to fall into place. But life doesn't work like that. But regardless of that, you still have to remain disciplined. You still have to remain focused. You still have to stay on the path. Just because things don't happen instantly doesn't mean you should stop. You only fail when you quit. And every single time you push through that doubt, your mind becomes stronger. The chance of you succeeding increases. The real obstacle is almost never the skill itself or the complexity of the task ahead. It's the fear our minds generate around it. The first step always feels like a huge leap because we obsess over what might go wrong. But if you focus on the fact that everybody starts as a beginner, it takes off all the pressure. Everybody starts from zero. And the truth is, no one's path is as smooth as it seems from the outside or through social media. Every entrepreneur, every writer, every creator, every success story you admire once stood where you are. Doubting, questioning, and wondering, was it worth it? Are they capable of doing it? Can they do it? The difference isn't talent, it's persistence. So instead of focusing on perfection, focus on progress. Show up even when it's hard. Post a video even when it's not flawless. Take the step even when you feel like you're moving in slow motion, because every small action adds up. And one day, by the grace of God, you'll look back and realize those little steps are building your momentum all along. Remember, it's not about being fearless. It's about taking action despite the fear. That's where growth happens. That's where breakthroughs are born. Keep going, because the only way to guarantee you'll succeed is to never stop trying. Remember to allow yourself to be a beginner. See mistakes as part of the process. It's not about trying to get everything right on your first go. Whether it's starting a YouTube channel, starting a business, I like to remind myself that every single expert began with zero experience. That thought alone can be freeing. Nobody is born with knowing how to do anything. Everybody learns along the way. Of course, my fear of starting may be different to yours. Some people procrastinate. Some people think they're lazy. Other people call themselves perfectionists. But whatever it is, the result is the same. We stall out before we even get going. But once you realize it's just fear and not some horrible, unchangeable flaw in your character, it becomes easier to handle. Recognizing that you're simply afraid will allow you to say, shit, I'm scared, but I'm gonna push through anyway, I'm gonna do it anyway. Something else also seems super important is, something else that was really important to me was having a strong support system. Whether it's a friend, whether it's your mum, whether it's your girl. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people, or people who are going to encourage you or lift you up when it gets tough, or remind you of the potential that you have when those doubts do creep in, because they will creep in, is paramount. I know sometimes for me personally, whenever I have maybe a low moment, sometimes I replay the words that people have said to me, and I use that as fuel to keep going. Because truly, sometimes someone else's belief in us can be the spark we need to believe in ourselves. So if you're watching this and you have a dream, don't let anything hold you back. Stop waiting. Half the battle is honestly just taking that first step. Once you start, I promise you, things get easier, because the unknown becomes to be or feel familiar. The doubt starts to fade. Your experience grows, and with that, your confidence. As you keep going and you start seeing results, you realize that honestly, the hardest part was just starting. I'll be the first to tell you that not everything you start will turn into your lifelong passion. Not everything you start will be that thing for you. Sometimes that thing you thought was your dream ends up not being the right fit. But here's the thing, every failure and every attempt brings you closer to what truly matters. The longer you wait to start, the longer it will take to discover that thing. So don't delay. Every step, even the wrong ones, is part of the journey to finding your purpose. And ultimately, the biggest thing I learned is that the fear of starting is often just a fear of disappointment. Whether it be disappointment in ourselves or not meeting some unrealistic, vague expectations we've set on ourselves, but any step forward, no matter how small, is a win because it gives you information. You learn a skill, you learn what you like, you learn a bit more about yourself. And that knowledge can lead you to the next step and the one after that. So if you're still hesitating, I want you to think about this. A year from now, you could look back and realize you could have been a whole year into your journey already. Do you honestly want to look back and think, what if? All the distractions you're caught up in right now, whether it's social media, whether it's parties, whether it's binge watching Netflix, won't matter in the long run. You're not going to look back when you're older and say, oh, I'm so glad I watched the flipping Squid Games. But you regret not taking action when you had the chance. So stop waiting, because the time to start is now. Your future, you will thank you for it. So please, start today, start now, Stop waiting and go make a change. Change your life, change your family's life. Whatever it is that motivates you, let that fuel drive you. Let it ignite a fire in you that nothing can extinguish. You've got the potential to do great things. You've got the potential to leave an amazing legacy, to transform your life, and to impact the life of those you care about and those are around you. Whether you're religious or not, there's a powerful truth in the saying, he that thinketh be. And the faith as small as a mustard seed, with the faith, I can't get the words out, with the faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And I know this to be true. So I'm not gonna ask you to subscribe or like this video, but I'm gonna tell you to take action, because you got this. Peace.